Hey everybody, this is the abroad vlog where I, Joseph Mulvaney, talk about my current goings on here in Spain. To start out this video, I wanted to talk about an event that was going on here in Fuengirola called the Ruta Erotica. This was the fifth annual Ruta Erotica, and what it is basically a lot of local restaurants around here have a specific tapa that they offer during this week. And it's all erotically themed. There's a lot of dicks and boobs and sex-related stuff. You pick up a passport, and if you get 10 stamps, you can turn it in, and you can enter a drawing. You get a bunch of prizes and stuff. Kels and I just went and got ours today. I got a glass. It's about yay tall, and it has Coca-Cola on it, like the traditional Coke glasses, you know, from back in the day or whatever. Kels got a little bag like this. Zipper bag. I don't know how I'm gonna get the glass home. I just wanted to have an actual glass size glass, like a big boy glass, because all the glasses we have here in the Pink Palace are really small. We went to 10 different places. Some of them were really good. Some of them were really, really bad. Some of them were kind of just in the middle. My favorite ones were probably, there was one that was called Flechazo. That's like Cupid's arrow. And it was a little heart-shaped hamburger with an arrow through it. Another really neat one was it was called the Tree of Forbidden Pleasure. And it was a wire tree that's branched out. The trunk of the tree was a lady, and they were wire boobs and whatever made. And then it branched out into wires, and on 4 different ones there were tapas. One of them had like a little dick, and one of them had some boobs, and then a couple little hearts. The worst one by far was one of the last ones that we ate, and it was just 2 piles of rice that tasted like nothing, with 2 little tiny half tortillas that also tasted like nothing. And it took them forever to get it out. And then they even forgot one of the people that we were with's plate, and they didn't bring it out until everybody else was already done. And then they were like, oh wait, we forgot your plate, so here you go, have this. Next, this past weekend, we went to Granada. Had a pretty good time. It was really chill. We stayed with a friend there, so we were on the cheap and we got to hang out, which was really nice. Yeah. We went to this place called the Mirador, which has a really amazing view overlooking Granada and the Alhambra, and you could see the Sierra Nevadas, and it's really pretty. It's up like a huge hill, so it's some work to get there, but there's definitely a huge payoff. On the way back down, we found this cat, and I followed it and took a bunch of pictures of it, and then it found the one patch of dirt on the entire hill and decided to take a shit. So yeah, we were staying with a friend, and he was supposed to meet his landlord because they needed to figure some stuff out because one of their bathrooms was broken. And we came back, and they were like a half hour late and showed up just after we got there. She saw our stuff in there and like freaked out and thought that somebody was staying there rent free. Put the hammer down on that one. She said that her son, who apparently used to stay in this room, was coming back and wanted that room. And the 3 people who were living there had no say in whether or not he could come back, or she could put anybody she wanted in there at any time without telling them, because apparently that's okay. She said that in order to solve that issue, she was going to put a lock on this spare room, and if they wanted the key, or if they wanted someone to be able to stay in this room, they would have to let her know like at least a week in advance to get the key from her. And she basically said that if we were going to be staying there past Sunday night, that she was going to kick us out and we'd have to go find somewhere else to stay because her son had that room and it was his place, I think, is how it went down. I guess it could have been a little bit lost in the translation. And then we went to this tapas bar called Bay Bestia for dinner. I absolutely love the place because you pay like $2.50 and you get a drink, and then you get a really large portion of food, which is the tapa, with the drink for free. And normally it's something usually pretty small, but with this one specifically, they give you a generously sized sandwich and like a pile of french fries. On Saturday, Kelsey and I walked Holly up to the Alhambra in the morning. She got in, and we went and sat in like a flowered area on a bench for a while, and it was really nice. And then this group of Asian tourists walked by, and one of them had a Jambox speaker that was playing some classical music, maybe flamenco music, Spanish guitar, something like that. So we got a little free music concert there for a little while, which was nice until they wandered off. And then we walked back down the hill. It's a huge hill to get up to the Alhambra. So we walked back down the hill and we went to a bunch of shops. And the whole time we'd been looking for these like finger symbols for a friend of ours. And in the last shop we're going into, Kelsey happened to see one lonely ass pair of these finger symbols sitting in this shop. So we bought them, snatched them right up, because that was the only pair in the entire city of Granada, apparently. That night, we went to a flamenco show at this place called La Casa de Flamenco, I believe. We had happened to see this lady in the street who gave us a discount. So instead of having to pay like 18 euro each, we only had to pay 12 euro each, which was a really nice discount. May not sound like quite a bit, but that fixed income. It was really cool, and it was in this really small, intimate space, and it really mimicked like a traditional flamenco show that you could go see in Granada up in the gypsy caves in the hills. That night, we went out and got tapas for dinner, and we found this like vegan vegetarian place that was playing really awesome music, like the Beatles. They played some Rage Against the Machine, and then we walked in and they were playing Insane in the Brain by Cypress Hill, so that was pretty legit. While we were in Granada, it got really cold, and coming back to Fuengirola, it's pretty chilly here now. Having gotten pretty cold, I even had to invest in a blanket. I got this pretty awesome dinosaur blanket. And then I had to get these socks. These socks here. Because I was getting friggin' cold at night. Fucking pigeons still. All fucking night with the pigeons. Last but not least, another little bit of story that's happened so far this week in my school. So I woke up yesterday at like 9:30 when Kelsey got me up because I was supposed to be to work at 10, and I had decided to just sleep past all of my alarms today, which can happen sometimes. I hauled ass and I got there still with like 2 minutes to spare to be to these first grade classes. I get in the building and I knock on the first grade class door because it was locked and it's usually not. So I'm knocking for like 5 minutes, and then I hear one of the teachers upstairs talking, and I go up and I ask, hey, where the hell are the first graders at? She told me that they were on a field trip, and so they weren't going to be there at all that day being Monday. So I just sat around for like 2 hours, and I finished the new Chucky movie while I was working. Yesterday in my third grade class, the teacher had disappeared and hadn't told me where she was going, and these kids were supposed to be coloring, and they were all up and talking and yelling and not coloring at all. I had said, hey, can you guys sit down? Can you be quiet? Can you color? Please? Can you do the work? Please? And this was like the 5th time that I'd done this. So having gotten far enough out of hand, I, about 50% volume, yelled at these kids, and I said, you need to sit down and color and stop talking. Dead silent. And then this one girl decided it would be a good opportunity for her to chuckle. So I went up to her and I was like, all up in her grill. Is this funny to you? I say to this little girl. Is this funny? And she says, no. So she colored for the rest of the time. But then the teacher came like 10 minutes after class was supposed to be over. And at that point, since class was technically over, they were already off the cuff again, and I didn't do anything about it because it wasn't my job to do it. And then today, my last class of the day was a 2nd grade class, and they were by far the worst of any class I've had up to this point. They would not listen to me to tell them in the instructions at all. And like 20 minutes into class, another teacher came in and started having a conversation at full volume with my teacher in my classroom while I was supposed to be teaching. And then the concierge, the door guy, was in. One of the shutters in the room, the metal things that you can roll down, had been broken since I've been here. And for some reason, they decided to have him come in on this day specifically while I'm in class and fix it. So he's off to the side of the room, standing on a ladder, drilling holes while I'm trying to do class, and jostling metal around and slamming things and dropping poles. Like 15 minutes before class was supposed to be over, the teacher finally was like, hey, kids, maybe you should listen or something. They didn't. So I was just like, Like 5 minutes later, she's like, well, I guess it's about that time. So I said, yeah, you're right. And I got my shit and I left. It was so frustrating. This is all for today, everybody. Hope you enjoyed what I've talked about today. You can check out my blog. I haven't updated it really, but maybe I'll type another story that I haven't talked about in my videos up in that. You can check out Kelsey's blog. I'll put a link in the description. Probably annotate that. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be uploading videos every week here. I hope you enjoy what I've talked about today, and I will talk to you all later. Bye.